will be a good setup for us. Right. Wonderful. So welcome, welcome. Whatever time or space you're tuning in, welcome, welcome. I'm happy that you're here. My name is Sara, and this is a chair yoga class. Now, this class is an offering of Toivo, an initiative of Advocacy Unlimited. And you don't really need anything special, just yourself and any chair that works for you. You'll see I just have like a regular wooden chair here. I do have a cushion on mine, and I've grabbed a couple pillows and blankets. These are things that I know support my body, but if you feel like you don't need them, don't use them. And if you feel like you need extra supports, you'll grab those. So you're gonna make the practice really unique to really support your unique body. And that's a beautiful reminder that we get to really take responsibility for ourselves and make sure that we're staying safe. As your guide in this practice, I'm going to offer you lots of different options, but you're going to keep yourself safe by choosing only what works best for you. And also remember that as we move our physical bodies, sometimes all kinds of sensations arise, all kinds of emotions. And know that the practice of yoga is about learning how to come back to our breath and learning how to allow what is arising for us to simply be there, right? Not trying to change it or be something that we're not, but to just notice and really observe what is rising for us in the moment. Yoga says everything is always fluctuating, so that is so much the practice. Now, before I head to the chair and we head into our practice, I wanted to take a little time to read an excerpt from one of my favorite books called The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. And this little bit here is called Revealing Who We Are. It says, "No bird can fly without opening its wings, and no one can love without exposing their heart." He says it is perhaps the oldest of inner laws, as inescapable as gravity. There is no chance of lifting into any space larger than yourself without revealing the parts you hold close to your chest. Anytime you hesitate revealing who you are, picture yourself as a bird perched on a roof, wings tucked at your sides. To enter a relationship without opening your heart is to jump off that roof without spreading your wings. It's true that baby birds hesitate the first time out of their nest, but once tasting the air, it is in their nature to open, rise, and close, and land. And this is their life, and it is ours too. The paradox, of course, is that we must trust that the power to lift and land for us is in the revealing what we hide. Once revealed, those tender things become our wings. So maybe those words resonate with you in this moment, and maybe you can carry those words and the feeling behind those words into your practice. All right, so let's come to the chair. So go ahead and find a seat. Now I have a pillow underneath my feet. One, because my legs are a little short in this chair, and they don't quite feel as comfortable settling to the ground without it. And I've also experienced, a little tenderness in the heels. Have you guys ever experienced that? So this feels really nice. It's a nice way to support that sensation. I also have a blanket behind my back. I curl it up just a little bit to fit that natural curve of my low back. And this just really helps us sit up nice and tall, shoulders over hips. What happens when I don't have this here, and what happens when many people don't have that support, is we do this, right? And over time, this can create a lot of imbalance in the body, right? And I know in my body over time that left me susceptible to injury and some discomfort in my low and upper back. Okay, so see if you can take the time to grab the props that you need and make yourself really comfortable. Now, if you don't have any props, don't worry. All you need is yourself and that chair, okay? So let's take a moment to just land, a moment to center ourselves. Let your hands rest on your thighs. And for a moment, just roll your shoulders up to your ears, back and down a few times. Beautiful, and relax the shoulders. Now feel your feet to the ground. Maybe the eyes close here. Maybe they stay open. If they're open, see if you can find one spot to look at and let your eyes just soften there. Just rest there on that one spot that's unmoving. We've taken a lot of sensation through the eyes, and so if you're not going to close them down, because it's not always comfortable for everyone to close them, if you're going to leave them open, see if you can really focus your gaze on one thing. Let the eyes rest, let the eyelids soften. And now wherever you are, once again, notice how your feet feel to the ground. Notice the sounds around you. And this is where we start practicing becoming that observer. Yoga is this practice of observation where we get to know ourselves. We get to notice our patterns in our physical body, patterns in our mind, our thoughts, patterns in our emotions. And so start to practice becoming that observer by just noticing the sounds that you hear. Sounds that you hear inside of your room, the sounds that you hear coming through in this video. Maybe you've noticed the temperature of the room and how the air feels on your skin. How your clothes feel on your skin. Now, can you start to notice your breath? You don't have to change it, but just notice it. Get to know your breath as it is. And we love to label in our minds, and let yourself do that for a moment. How would you label your breath? Are there qualities to the breath that you can bring awareness to? Is the breath shallow, constricted, tight, long, deep? And maybe you really break it down. Notice the breath in the nostrils, the throat, just in the chest. Does anywhere else in the body move as you breathe? The belly, like you have connected with that breath, I'll invite you to come into a 3-part breath, a deeper, fuller breath. So when you're ready, you're going to inhale, take a fuller, deeper breath in, draw the breath deep into the belly, belly expands, ribs and chest. And as you exhale, navel gently draws in and up, ribs deflate, chest drops down. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Let's do 5 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. And so now let your breath just settle and notice how you feel. We know that 3 of those deep 3-part breaths, 3 rounds, automatically slows the heart rate. And so can you notice that already in your body? And no worries if you can't. This is a practice too, coming into a slower, deeper breath. I know for me was not my normal when I first came into the practice. And it was over a dedicated period of time coming back to the practices that my breath was able to elongate. I was able to extend the belly as I breathed in. And so be really gentle with yourself there. 3-part breath, belly, ribs, chest. You can really do this breath anywhere. Okay? We're going to come into another breathing practice. And this is one that I really love. And again, you can do this anywhere. You're going to inhale for the count of 4. You're going to hold for the count of 7. And you're going to exhale out nice and long for the count of 8. Okay? So when you're ready, let's breathe in. Hold. And out nice and long for 8. So take your time there. In for 4. Hold for 7. Out nice and long for the count of 8. And just allow yourself to move at your own time, your own pace. And if you can't reach all the way to that end number, that's okay. Just notice where you lie on that spectrum. You're breathing in for 4, holding the breath for a count of 7, and exhaling out nice and long for the count of 8. As you're holding the breath, see if you can relax your shoulders, relax the face, relax the feet. And if you lose track, if the mind starts to wander away from the count, away from the breath, just start over. In for 4, hold for 7. Exhale out nice and long for the count of 8. And take just a few more rounds there. Take one more round wherever you are. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. Wonderful. Now when you are ready, go ahead and take the hands to heart center. Know that if this hand position doesn't feel right to you, you can always leave the hands on the thighs. But here I'm going to invite you to do one round of the sacred sound Om to really start our practice. This sound is so purifying. It allows us to kind of cleanse the body before we take our movement and start amplifying our intentions. So when you're ready, we'll breathe in. Beautiful. Now take a moment here and set an intention for your practice. What are you dedicating the breath, the movement, and the mindfulness to? What would you like for yourself, for someone else, or for the world? And maybe for a moment you just visualize that in your mind. What if it were real and true and now? That intention in action, what would it look like? Can you feel it in your body? There is power in this visualization practice. Take one more breath here. Beautiful work. All right, let's take the hands down. Let's find that movement in the shoulders again. Up to the ears, back and down. We're gonna start moving nice and slow. And some of you may be thinking like, oh my gosh, we've been taking so long to get started. And I totally understand those thoughts. But the reason why we do that, again, is because yoga is an amplifier, right? It is amplifying the intention that we set at the beginning of class. And so we really want to take time before we start moving to get really clear on what it is that we're doing. Right? So that we can really amplify those intentions that are truest to our heart. Right? And it's important to start moving slow because, at least in my own body, and I've talked with so many people who have experienced injury, and it's often from doing too much too quickly. And so allow yourself to start slow. Right? Especially if you're not in a regular yoga practice. Right? This may be your first time, or you're just getting used to practicing. Nice and slow to start. Be really compassionate, really gentle. Yeah. Take a few rolls forward. Up, forward. Beautiful. And one more time, up to the ears, back and down. And now, just do one shoulder at a time. One shoulder at a time. One of the things that I like to do here is take the opposite hand. So if I'm moving my left shoulder, I'll take my right hand and I'll kind of place my hand right on my chest, kind of along that clavicle, that bone right in the chest. And I'll gently pull towards the center line as the shoulder pulls up, back, and down. Okay. Beautiful. And just notice that even here, there's a difference, right? We can be kind of internally rotated at the shoulder, or we can be externally rotated where the shoulder's opening, that arm crease is turning forward. And that's really where we want to be here, is in that external rotation while we take the shoulder up, back, and down. Breathe here. Notice if you started holding your breath. Okay, let's come to the other side. So take your time. You may notice that one side just feels different than the other, right? I know for me, I've had injury on one side, one shoulder, and so it just feels completely different. And that's okay. We're going to let each part of the body be what it is, right? Get that external rotation, right? This would be internally rotated, externally rotated as we roll up, back, and down. That opposite hand can gently pull towards the center line. Beautiful. And then one more time, both together. Very nice. Okay, so relax the shoulders now. Start to circle out your wrists. You can let the fingers kind of spread wide here. And in the opposite direction. Maybe a little squeeze and release. Big breath. Very nice. Let's come into a little movement in the neck now. Drop your left ear to the left shoulder. And we're drawing the shoulder down as the crown of the head reaches, right? We can kind of just hang out here all day, but we're gonna really create intention in the movement where we're intentionally reaching in opposite directions, out through the crown of the head, shoulder draws down and back. You're still got that external rotation in the shoulder here. That's gonna really help create this nice space in the neck. And just notice your chin. If your chin is pressed forward, that's going to be a different sensation than tucking the chin. And that's actually a nice movement to take here. Because there's not one that's better than the other, but you might notice that one feels more productive for you, right? Depending on where you feel tight. And just breathe there. Maybe in that movement or just stillness, ear to shoulder. Okay. Beautiful. Let's slowly let the head roll to the front. And you're still reaching out nice and tall through the top of the head. Tuck the chin. Take a little half circle. Really small. Just feel that stretch in the back of the neck. These are so wonderful to do if you've been sitting at a computer all day. Right? Beautiful. Now let's roll to the other side. So right ear to right shoulder. Left shoulder pulls back and down. Reach up through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. Beautiful. Maybe you find that movement where you're pressing the chin forward. Or you're drawing the chin in towards the chest. And you're just finding that movement there. Looks like we lost our music. That's okay. Sometimes practicing in silence is good. Right? We take in so many sounds throughout our day. And it really allows you to hear your breath. Are you breathing here? Okay, let the head rise back up. Now find a full circle. Rolling in one direction. And the other. Beautiful. Go ahead, let the head come back up. Now, let's let our arms sweep to the sides and up. Let your palms touch. If they don't reach, that's okay. Maybe you can only come up this far. That's okay. Give yourself permission to stop where it feels right. But notice where your end range is. Notice if you can push a little farther. Maybe it's just like the tiniest bit. But notice where you are. Do you press forward? Do you hold back? Right? Noticing your edges, your boundaries are a big part of the practice. From here, take a deep breath in, and we're going to reach up and over to the left. Beautiful. You can even look over to the right. Beautiful. Up into the center. We're getting a little bit of core work here. Up and over. Right? The core is holding strong. You can draw the navel into the spine. If you need help finding that activation, deep breath, maybe look to the left. And come back to center. Beautiful. Draw the hands to heart center. Let's take our right hand down. Left arm reaches up and over. So you might want to hold on to the chair even. That allows me to get a little bit deeper without feeling like I'm just going to tip over. I'm going to scoot forward on my chair here so that I can really plant my feet. So notice what feels best for you. And then we'll come to the other side. Up and over. I've got some cracks and pops. Okay. Beautiful. One more time, each side. And let's linger this time. Hold. Let's breathe here for 3 breaths. See if you can notice if your shoulder's rolling forward. Open it up. Deep breath. One more. And slowly rise back up. Beautiful. Let's come to the other side. Remembering that this side is totally different. Take your time. Deep breath. Now, if you can't breathe in a shape that you're creating, that is a good indicator that you're going too far. Okay, so pull yourself back up if you can't breathe. Let the breath really be a guide here. Let's see if we can get some music back. All right, so let's come into a little bit of a twist. Inhale, arms rise, and exhale, twist it open to the left. So your arm might be back behind the chair, depending on what kind of chair you have, or just along the side. I kind of like to scoop forward here so I have a little bit more freedom to move my arms. Now go ahead and relax for a moment. And now sit up nice and tall, up through the crown of the head. And as you breathe in, feel the breath fill the belly. And as you exhale, maybe you twist a little more, belly, ribs, chest, and maybe the gaze starts to look over the back shoulder. But nothing to force in the neck. The gaze can stay forward, to the side, or back behind you. Okay. Beautiful. Let's come to the center. Other side. Reach up through the crown of the head. Deep breath in. Exhale, maybe a little bit more of a twist. Belly, ribs, chest, head. Beautiful, beautiful. And we'll come back to center and take the hands to heart center. Very nice. Let's go ahead and draw the elbows together. I'll turn this way a little bit so that you can see me, but you'll just stay facing forward. So from here, notice the elbows may be low, and maybe that's where you stay. Or maybe the elbows reach up so that they're in line with the shoulder. For a little more sensation, you can lift up. Okay, and the gaze can gently look to the thumbs right in front of you. And breathe here, right? We're filling the shape with our breath. Take a deep breath in. You're breathing into the space that you're creating in your back. And then go ahead and release. Nice and slow, open up cactus arms. Beautiful. And just hold here for a moment. Let your elbow stay in line with the shoulder just to start. Remember, keeping ourselves really safe, not doing too much too fast. Okay. Beautiful. And now see if you can press the heart forward just a little bit more. Draw the elbows back behind you just a little bit more. Nothing to force. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. Feel your feet to the ground. And out. One more. Beautiful. Now take your hands back behind you. You might have to really scoot forward to the tip of the chair. I'll turn to the side so that you can see, but you'll stay right where you are, and you'll just take your hands reaching back behind you. Okay, now this time, keep those low ribs drawn in. You're not really pressing through the low ribs too much, right? You're really drawing the low ribs in and you're pressing the heart up and forward as the hands come back. Up through the heart as the shoulders open, back. Deep breath. I'd like you to see if you can keep that external rotation here, right? This would be internal. This is external. Deep breath. Beautiful. Now go ahead and take your hands to your thighs and gently, really small, start to round your back, but really slow, right? Because we just opened up wide, so really slow, we're going to start to round. And you're going to stop only like 20% of how far you can actually go, and just linger there for a moment. And then come back. Now let's press the chest forward. And exhale, round, maybe a little deeper this time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. So notice if you can start getting a little bit wider in that range of motion, but move slow. See if you can breathe in each position. Beautiful. When you're ready, come back to center. Very nice. Go ahead and take your hands. Now there's a couple options here. You can just interlace the hands this way, press the hands forward, or you can interlace the hands and press the palms forward. So this is a little bit more intense in the wrists. You're still going to get this nice movement in the shoulder blade here. So really don't worry too much about what your hand position is here. What we want is to press the shoulders towards the wrists. And you're rounding that back. Let the neck stay nice and long. Let your gaze look forward. Take a deep breath. Slowly release. Beautiful. Let your arms come down. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So we're really taking the time, nice and slow, to loosen up the back. If you have spent all day at the computer, I recommend moving slow, just like this, to start before jumping into any workout routine, unless you really warmed yourself up in another way, right? Like gone for a run or something like that. Okay, beautiful. Few more. Nice. Now when you're ready, take your arms out nice and wide. And you're going to press out through the palms of the hands. Okay, so the fingertips are drawing towards the shoulders as you press out through the palms. And here, see if you can find that external rotation again. So it's going to be really subtle here, right? This would be internal or externally rotating. Nice. Draw those low ribs in, press the feet into the ground, reach up through the crown of the head, deep breath. Exhale, drop the fingertips towards the earth. Just stretch the tops of the wrists. Deep breath. Beautiful. Now you're going to bring your left arm across the body. The right elbow is going to hook over that arm. Beautiful. So we're just gently guiding that left shoulder over. We're opening the back of the shoulder blade. Take a deep breath. Right now, see if you can kind of draw the shoulder blade back into its socket as you stretch the arm this way. So we're getting a little stretch in that upper arm. Deep breath. One more. And unwind, nice and slow. Roll the shoulders. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. Take the right arm across the body. Left arm hooks. Take a deep breath. And at first you're really letting the shoulder blade just move towards the wrist. And then you're going to play around with drawing the shoulder blade back. Beautiful. Deep breath. Reach up to the crown of the head. You might notice a little stretch in the neck here as well. Deep breath. Beautiful. And release. Roll those shoulders. Beautiful. When you're ready, let your arms rise and gently reach for opposite elbows. And go ahead and just notice here. I'll turn to the side so that you can see. Right? So what happens when we're really rounded in our upper back is we'll have to leave the arms a little bit forward, and that's okay, right? You're just exploring your end range. You're pressing your feet gently into the ground. You're sitting up nice and tall. So that's where you're going to be. That's the best you can do in this moment. Perfect. If you can, you're going to, really reach for opposite elbows, and you're going to press the head back, like the arms are pulling back. The head presses back. Okay? And check in with your low back, right? We have a tendency to curve the back here. Draw the navel into the spine. Sit up nice and tall. We're opening up and open in the chest. And we're going to breathe here for 3 breaths. Beautiful. And slowly release. Very nice work. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take the left hand to the back of the head. You're going to take your right hand to the top of the thigh, or you can even move it gently to the inside of the thigh. Wherever you are, you're going to inhale up and open to the left. Right, so just notice where you're asking your body to twist. Up and open. And can you bring most of that twist as far up the spine as you can, right? Because we have a lot of movement in our low back, but we tend to become very tight and constricted, and we have less movement there anyway. So we just want to make sure that we're getting a little bit of opening there, right? Keeping that range of motion available to us. Take a deep breath here. When you're ready, round your spine like your elbow's reaching for your opposite elbow. Now you're not pulling on the back of your head, but you're just gently guiding it there. Inhale, open, nice and slow. Exhale, round. Let's do one more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Beautiful. And slowly come back up. And just take a moment there. Just breathe for a couple breaths. Notice how you feel. I really love taking these moments in between, even the simplest of postures, because it gives this time and space for you to check in. I know that when I came into this practice, and many times still in my practices, if I'm not feeling grounded, if I'm not feeling connected to my body, I can very easily push beyond my comfort zone. I can push beyond the boundary of being safe. And so it's so important to take these moments to check in and be like, okay, how does that feel? How does that feel in the whole of my body? I know I just moved my shoulder and my upper back, but how do I feel as a whole? Okay, so see if you can take time to do that. And it's a practice that if we can bring that into our daily lives, it becomes this amazing practice of checking in with ourselves, keeping us in the present moment. And we can make really good decisions from really grounded spaces. Okay, let's come to the other side. So we're going to take our right hand to the back of our head, up and open. And we're gonna breathe here for a little bit, right? And you're only up and opening as far as feels right for you. Like you're gonna use my shape as a guide, but you might be here, okay? You might be open even farther than I am, so just notice, right? You never wanna use someone else's shape, posture to, set expectations of what you should look like in your body. This is really more about a feeling space. What does it feel like for you? Okay, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, round, elbow reaches for opposite elbow, nice and slow. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Beautiful. And slowly come back up. Roll the shoulders. Very nice. So we're quite warmed up in the shoulders now, or we've had a nice opportunity to. Let's stand. And let's take the back of the chair. So the back of the chair is facing you. Go ahead and take your hands to start to the top of the chair. Now you might stay right here, pressing the top of your hands into the chair. Okay? And your chair is probably a little bit different than mine, so you might be down lower, and that's okay. You might be up higher, and that's okay. But you're gonna press the hands, press the palms into the top of the chair. Now with that pressure, walk your feet back and start to drop yourself down into this L shape. Now keep pressing the tops of your hands into the chair. Okay, so now we're really getting to stretch in the armpits. We're getting this stretch to the back, along the side of the body. Take a deep breath here. Notice the curves in your back. If you've got a curve there, give a little tuck to the tailbone, draw the navel into the spine, press the shoulders towards the ears as the palms press down into the top of the chair. Take a deep breath. One more. Beautiful. Now you can stay right here, or you can slowly walk your feet ever so slightly to the right. So now you're getting this little C shape in the left side of the body. And you'll notice here that I'm gently bending my right knee as I pull my left hip back. Press the hands down into the top of the chair. Beautiful. Nice and slow. Walk your feet back to center. Press the hands into the chair. Right? You don't have to press at 100%. Right? If you think about everything lies on a spectrum, 0 to 100%. If you're pressing at 100 and that feels like too much, ease off a little bit, come back to your breath and say, okay, I'm going to press at about 25% and notice if that feels better. Okay? Now, once you find that length, the shoulders are pressing towards the fingers, the hands are pressing down as the hips pull back. You can stay here, or you can take really small steps over to the left, a gentle bend in the right knee. Take a deep breath. Really, really small movements. Nothing to force. Beautiful. When you're ready, come back to center. And when you're ready, we'll slowly start to rise up. Walk the feet in. And take a moment to just notice how you feel. Keep your hands on the chair, or maybe the hands come down alongside the body. Wherever you are, take 3 breaths, just noticing how you feel. And see if you can let yourself be with whatever comes up, right? It doesn't have to feel like anything. Maybe you have other emotions that are coming up for you now, right? Emotions that are not peaceful or happy, and that's okay. So just notice what they are, and let the emotions, the sensations rise and fall, right? It's like we kind of start to watch them. They have these fluctuating patterns. Beautiful. All right, we'll take one or two last movements here from the standing position. Go ahead and step back with your right foot. Okay, now you get to choose the distance, right? So shorter stance, less sensation. Greater stance, more sensation. But there's not one better than the other. There's actually benefit to doing both. Okay, now first I'd like you to, keeping your back toes pointed as forward as feels right for you, you're going to let your heel sink back. So you get a stretch in the calf, right? Nice stretch in the foot. Okay, now start to activate the legs. Press your front foot down and back, and the back foot down and forward. So they're not actually moving, but that's the direction that you're starting to move, like that's the direction that they're wanting to go in, right? So it's like you're moving like that and like that, but you're not actually moving. You're just pressing down and forward. Okay. Beautiful. Now from here, you can slowly start to bend the back leg. Beautiful. Press up. You're only dropping down is what feels right. So maybe you're up high, maybe you come down low and up. Notice if you're pressing forward, pull yourself up one long line, shoulders over hips. Just bend the back knee. Perfect. And up. Bend. And up. Very nice. Maybe you widen your stance for a moment. Find that activation in the legs. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, come on back up, nice and slow, however you get there. Let's come right to the other side. Okay, so first, just finding the stance that feels good, really focusing on stretching. So maybe you come onto the toes, and then you really let the heel sink back, and maybe you do that a few times. Stretching into the calf. Beautiful. Now find that activation, front foot down and back, back foot down and forward, strong legs. Breathing here, standing up nice and tall. And if it feels right for you, bending that back knee, pressing up. Bend and press. Bend and press. And I'm always amazed at when I'm feeling any tightness or constriction in the shoulders, the more I allow my hips and my legs to activate and be released, right, where I'm starting to stretch out those tight muscles and I'm bringing awareness to the tension that I'm holding, then my upper body starts to relax as well, right? Not that all tension is bad, right? We need tension to hold us together, but any of that, you know, psycho-emotional component, that tension there, we want to let that go. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll come back up. Very nice. And we'll come back into our chair. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and take the legs nice and wide. Okay, you're going to take your right arm to the inside, left arm twisting up and open. Press your hand into the leg into hand, and you're just gently twisting up and open. You really want length in the spine before you twist. The arm can stay to the hip too, or it can reach up towards the sky. Deep breath. Come back to center. Let's come to the other side. Deep breath. Beautiful. And come back to center. Take your feet back in front of you. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the elbows, press the chest forward. You might want to sit forward a little bit onto your chair because we're going to take our hands back behind us. Just reaching behind, externally rotating the shoulders, so let the palms kind of face up and out. A little bend in the elbows. Take a deep breath. One more. Beautiful. Come back to center. Let's go ahead and gently lift up that left foot. Okay, beautiful. And just hold it there. We're just gonna kind of work the hip a little bit just by holding. Press your opposite foot into the ground. Okay. This is just a nice little thing to do before we settle ourselves down. Now, if you want a little bit more work, press the top of your hand into the leg, leg into the hand. Breathe, sit up nice and tall. 2 more breaths. Very nice. Slowly lower down. Let's come to the other side. Just lift, hang out here. This is plenty of work. If you hold this in integrity, if you're sitting up nice and tall, navel drawing into the spine, open heart, crown of the head reaching. Stay here or press the top. Press the hands into the top of the leg. Leg presses back into the hands and just breathe there. Your toes can point or you can gently draw them towards the knee. So whichever one feels best for you. And take 3 more breaths here. Beautiful. Slowly lower down. Go ahead and straighten out the legs. And again, you're kind of sitting towards the end of the chair, right? And so just notice how that feels here to sit up nice and tall. Be mindful of the arch in your low back, right? If you're very arched, you're gonna kind of gently draw the navel into the spine, sit up nice and tall. Just really point the toes and get that stretch to the tops of the feet. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, now gently put a bend in one and then the other. And you can bring the feet back as close to you as you want. Just notice what feels right. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it forward. So maybe you stop up high. Maybe you're folding forward all the way. Okay, no right or wrong. You can shake out the head, yes. And you can shake out the head, no. The knees can be more together or they can be nice and wide. You're gonna listen to your body. 1 more breath. And when you're ready, you're slowly gonna rise up. Let the arms reach up, palms touch. 1 more time, drop it over to the left. Hold there, breathe, 1 breath there. And then to center, press the feet up and over to the right. And to center, bend those elbows. Hands to heart center. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and make our way into our final resting posture. So get really comfortable. Maybe you sit back a little heavier into the chair. Maybe you cover up with a blanket. I know I always get a little bit cold when we move into like the meditation part of our practice, or the Shavasana, our final resting posture. But you just want to be really comfortable. So maybe you bring that pillow back under the feet. It's also nice to have a blanket or a pillow on the lap, just a little feeling of being weighted, or maybe a blanket or a sweater over the tops of the shoulders. Okay, so take a moment here and maybe you close the eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. And if it doesn't feel comfortable to close them, remember you're just leaving them open, but you're finding that spot in front of you and just softening your gaze there. Take one full deep breath in and out. And then letting the breath just settle into a natural rhythmic flow. See if you can start to relax the body. Relax the shoulders, the eyes, the jaw, the legs. The top of the head. It's like each exhale now lets the body soften just a little bit more. And you're gonna just allow yourself to rest here. Just let yourself rest in stillness. And you can allow your mind to focus on the breath. Just tracing the breath as you breathe in and following it out. Or maybe you want to focus on noticing your thoughts. You can visualize the thoughts in your mind. Notice how you see them, how they rise and fall for you. Right? And just kind of bring awareness to the pattern of your thoughts. You can also allow the mind to settle onto an affirmation. You can inhale I, exhale am. I am. Just a few more slow, deep breaths. Now you are welcome to stay here as long as it feels right, or whenever you are ready, you'll start to take in a fuller, deeper breath. You'll start to find little movements in your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Maybe a nice big stretch up above the head. And we'll end our practice by drawing our hands to heart center. And we'll close with that sacred sound of Om. Together we'll breathe in. take a moment to honor all of the teachers who have come before us, who have carved this path, who have shared their wisdom. Know that I am honored to be a guide in this sacred practice, and I am forever grateful to be a student, your student. Namaste. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for practicing. I hope you can carry some of this space that we have made in the upper body with you throughout your day. If you have any questions or comments, feel to leave them in the comment box below, or you can always reach out through private messenger. I encourage you to look over the Toivo Facebook page or the website www.toivocenter.org and look for all of the online and in-person offerings that we have coming up. We have a full schedule. October is going to be amazing. Can't wait to connect with you and see you there. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.